You and I are going wine shopping together. You can find a sensational bottle of wine for criminally low prices. Let's get started exploring and tasting new wines together. Shall we go to the south of France and drink some delicious wine together on the Mediterranean? We shall. So let's head off to the southwestern French region of the Languedoc and then head over to the coast to kick back, relax, and enjoy a refreshing glass of Picpoul de Pinet. Peakpool is both the name of the grape and the region that it's most famously produced in. That region, Picpoul de Pinet, is located in the French Languedoc, one of France's largest growing areas. It's centrally located, but right along the Mediterranean coast. The vineyards here descend down to the small Tau Lake, the only barrier between the vines and the sea. While much of the Languedoc can be quite warm, the sea and its coastal winds regulate this area, cooling off the vines and protecting them from airborne diseases and mildew and preserving the grape's naturally high levels of acidity. Picpoul de Pinet holds the distinction of being one of the very few regions in the Languedoc that is solely devoted to white wine production. The Picpoul grape, specifically the Picpoul Blanc grape, has ancient roots in the Languedoc and is one of the oldest grapes here along with Sancerre and Claret Blanche. There are also the much rarer Picpoul Noir and Picpoul Gris grapes, but very little of these wines are produced. And when they are used, they're mostly utilized in blends. You can also find some Picpoul in the Rhone Valley, and both Picpoul Blanc and Picpoul Noir are permitted grapes in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, though rarely used. These Picpoul bottles are very distinct, they really stand out on the shelf, and they're completely influenced by the sea. They have this lovely green color. The name of the bottle is actually called a Neptune. And then you'll find this cross on here. This is a symbol of the Languedoc. And then around the top of the neck here, wrapped around, are these lovely gentle waves. So very marine influenced. Not every producer chooses to bottle in these, but the vast majority of them do. This bottle is produced by Hugues Bovenac, and I got it at Total Wine and More for $14.99. At Total Wine, they do offer another Picpoul that's a little cheaper. This is the Côte de Tau for $11.99. That one, however, is only 65% Picpoul, and then the rest is made up by a grape called Terre. I wanted to, for this, really focus on a 100% Picpoul. Picpoul de Pinet is an absolute gold mine for value wines. The vast majority of these wines are going to be very affordable for a few different reasons. One of which is that a lot of these wines are fermented in stainless steel, which is a lot less laborious and a lot cheaper than fermenting in oak. Although there are some producers that are exploring and doing some lees aging and barrel fermenting, which really gives these wines a little more texture, more complexity, and they'll be considered more serious Picpoul. Another reason for them being so affordable is that a lot of these vineyards are machine harvested, again, less laborious, less expensive than hiring a team of workers to go out and handpick all of the grapes. And then also about 80% of the wines in Picpoul de Pinet are being produced by large cooperatives. So all of these factor in to make delicious wines that are also very affordable. I had the pleasure of visiting this region a couple years ago and it blew me away. It was just absolutely stunning. So beautiful right there on the coast and just peaceful, beautiful place with great wines, great food, but really beautiful on the nose, really jumping out of the glass. A lot of citrus, lemon, lime, tangerine, and getting some orange blossom as well. It's got this florality or hawthorn. It has this lovely florality kind of lifting out of the glass. Getting some other green notes like green apple. I'm also getting some stone fruit notes on this. Not super ripe, slightly underripe, apricot, peach, white peach. And then the sea spray, this wine is, this is part of what terroir is, the place in the glass. And that sea spray of being near the coast, absolutely stunning. And to see those vineyards just coming right down to the sea. And so a fun fact about Peakpoul, Peakpoul actually means sting of the lips, which is in reference to its screechingly high levels of acidity, which, if you know me, means I'm going to love it. Ooh. Ha. Yeah, that's high acidity. That's, ooh, it's just like crackling and filling my mouth with saliva. So yummy. Lighter bodied, got a little nice texture on it though. So maybe medium minus, I would say, for body. Moderate alcohol, they don't go too high here. 13%, there we go. 13% alcohol, that acidity is very zippy. It's this lovely backbone of this wine and very, very typical of it. All that salinity jumping out of the glass onto my palate. Again, all that lovely citrus, the stone fruit as well, but really the salinity, the minerality is just so present on this wine. So this is a perfect example of what grows together goes together. And that's a phrase that a lot of wine professionals use for pairing with food. What are they eating in the region? Well, as you can imagine, if these people are living on the coast, what are they going to be eating a lot of? Seafood. This is seafood wine, and specifically there is an oyster called the Bouzigue oyster that is only from this Tau lake, the Tau basin. And I had the extreme pleasure and honor of going out on a boat around these oyster farms. They have their oysters in racks kind of hanging on ropes off of these frames into the water. One of the farmers pulled up with a plate of beautifully shucked oysters, and they're very unique. These oysters, the flavor profile, very saline. They have this iodine taste as well. It's so cool, you can only eat them there. And they wash them down with a nice cold glass of Peakpool. And they pair very nicely together. That salinity together, they're meant to be. Lighter, more delicate fish with some really flavorful sauces. I imagine a Dover sole with this would be great. Although salmon would be great with this as well. Great with richer cream sauces as well. Butter sauces, cream sauces, fried foods. Because of that acidity, people love to pair champagne and fried chicken. You know, it's like a high-low pairing. If you want to do a low-low pairing, that still works really, really well together. Peakpool and fried chicken. Saying it, it's gonna be bomb. If you're a fan of Albarino, Vino Verde, just really light, mineral, crisp white wines, this is a huge find for you. Huge friend for you as well. Picpoul de Pinet, value across the board, every single time, every single bottle. We're not drinking enough of it. I'm not drinking enough of it. This has been a lovely reminder for me to go buy more Peakpool, and it won't hurt my wallet, hurt my bank account. But I highly recommend you go out and find yourself a bottle of Peakpool ASAP. So delicious, so pairable, great on its own though, and such a people pleaser, this wine. So let me know what you think in the comments below of Peakpool if you've had it before. What are some of your favorite producers? Have you visited the region? You should book a trip. And cheers, here's to exploring and trying new wines.